Have you ever met a know-it-all? Of course you have. We all have. They have an insatiable thirst for knowledge, insist they have all the right answers, and love to be right. And trust me, there's no shortage of them.
We put out a nationwide call to find Canada's greatest know-it-all, and thousands responded.
I get things done.
Have a degree in physics.
I really hope you get some guys to play with these guns because they are loaded.
I'm better than perfect.
I may be Canada's know-it-all.
I would really love if I had your trophy.
We met and tested hundreds and chose these 10 finalists. Over the next 8 episodes, they'll play our mind games against each other. In the sky.
Drop now!
Yeah! With their minds.
18 meters per second, which is along the hypotenuse.
Doesn't sound right at all.
And under each other's skin.
Get your ass on that bucket!
Oh my goodness, scream louder! Stupidity rules the day, what can I say?
You, under extreme duress.
Help! Somebody help!
Shut up, sit there, don't move.
They face off with each other in surprising ways.
This is just awesome.
You guys are always telling me that you could do things with one arm tied behind your back. Go!
In the biggest, boldest, mental competition of their lives.
Typical know-it-all pissing match.
This is not a quiz show.
3 main bones in the ankle, and then it goes down into your tarsals.
It's a state of mind.
On a daily basis, people say, oh my God, you're a genius.
Still wrong.
What?
But in the end, only one will claim the title of Canada's greatest know-it-all.
Canada's biggest self-professed know-it-alls have arrived. These 10 are bold, brash, and born to solve problems.
Crazy girl.
At least that's what they say, with typical know-it-all conviction. Thomas Porter, from somewhere north of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
Rough and tough is the name of the game where I live. No one likes a know-it-all. No one likes to be called a know-it-all. But when there's no one around to impress, and survival's the order of the day, knowing a few things isn't such a bad idea.
Thomas has chosen to live on his terms, off the grid, with no electricity, few comforts, and only his know-it-all skills to keep him alive.
Being able to solve problems is a key to survival the way we live.
But will he be able to solve the problem of competing with 9 other know-it-alls?
I'm a diehard competitor who knows how to finish the job, how to get it done and get it done quickly.
Kerry Lucier from Windsor, Ontario, is a self-proclaimed Renaissance man.
I'm a CEO. I'm an inventor. I'm a builder.
He started and stopped so many careers, he's created a PowerPoint presentation just to keep track of them all.
I'm a writer. I'm a leader. I'm a strategist. I'm an athlete. I'm a risk taker. I'm a survivor.
Sabina Dawson, an accountant and CFO from London, Ontario.
So you want to know if I'm competitive? Yeah, I'm competitive.
She's done the calculations and has come to the only logical conclusion: she wins.
When I was still in my 20s, I set a goal for myself that I would be Chief Financial Officer for a Toronto Stock Exchange listed company before the age of 30. I was 29 when it happened.
Then she abandoned the boardroom for the challenge of the high seas.
An aircraft carrier was on a collision course for our boat.
She set off to sail around the world.
If I can solve a problem with an aircraft carrier, I can solve a problem here.
And solve problems they will.
Hey, that's like scary to me.
One by one, these 10 know-it-alls will eliminate each other. No voting, no popularity contests, until just one is left standing. And me? No, I'm not a know-it-all, but I do know how to handle them.
Hello, people, and welcome to Know-It-All. Your goal is clear. Show me, show the entire country that you are Canada's greatest know-it-all. You said you were, now prove it. I want you to split into 2 teams of 5, which will remain together for the next 2 challenges. It will serve...
Kerry was whispering under his breath to me, "I'd love you to be on my team," which, you know, fine.
Before he even finished talking, I went, Dave, like that. Dave. He hadn't even finished speaking yet. I got two people ready to step back with me.
Go for it. Figure it out.
Wait, come here.
Jen.
Wait.
They're all kind of clustered in a group, and everybody's staring at each other, and all of a sudden I felt my arm being grabbed.
Are you strong? Like, are you strong physically? We have the two oldest members on our team. I looked both of them right in the face and I said, are you guys physically strong? It's not a challenge, that's a question. I guess we'll see.
A number of us weren't that comfortable with that situation. We went with the flow.
Now, in this challenge, you're not only going to be competing against each other's teams, you're going to have a much deadlier opponent. You're going to be up against Mother Nature.
The first Know-It-All Challenge. In 2 hours, to build a shelter that's able to withstand the force of a tropical storm. It must be a minimum size of 6 by 6 by 6, have 4 enclosed walls, a 5-foot-high door, and a 30-inch minimum peaked roof. When it's done, 2 little pigs are placed inside. Then our giant wind machines will try to blow their pigs and their houses down.
First pig to fly off the cliff loses. Good? Now listen, storms can be unpredictable, so plan well. All right, go.
The teams. Team number 1, Thomas, Jennifer, Stephen, Ted, and Dan. Team number 2, Kerry, Sabina, Nick, Dave, and Wayne. For this challenge, we threw in a few surprises. 1, the materials. Only a few short pieces of rope and some flimsy cardboard to build with. And none of these pieces are big enough to form even a single wall.
I could have wished for some more conventional materials.
And 2, after the builds are done, each team can rotate their opponent's structure to the angle they think makes it most vulnerable to the wind. But
They're all the same length.
neither team knows it.
This is crazy.
Find out what we have.
And address it from that point.
What'd they give us for fasteners?
All no fasteners so far.
0 fasteners. What's in the bag?
Thomas, I'm making a timeline real quick.
On team number 1, a prominent voice is already emerging from the pack. Jennifer Salisbury from Powell River, British Columbia.
There's a lot of penises on this table, and I don't care.
I'm your typical 34-year-old gal.
Yes, if hunting wild animals and naval nuclear engineering is considered typical.
I'm a nuclear engineer. I was in the U.S. Navy. Giving up isn't an option. You have to find the solution. Expect the unexpected.
With structure and discipline always top of mind, Jennifer's first task, appoint a leader.
The first thing we did, I said, who's going to be the leader? Thomas, is this what you want to do? And he said, yeah, I want to do it. I said, fine, you're the leader.
I want you to give me the minimum height, a cottage style. I want the Pythagorean on that.
Thomas is hinging his team's success on his intricate roof design. A square base with 8 equal length supports converging at a single point.
It has to come to a point.
But there's
So,
one competitor on Thomas's team who's not used to being a student.
He gave us his design. As far as I was concerned, I thought it was a little bit too complicated. Who's working on the door? Let's use that KISS principle, okay? Keep it simple, stupid. Let's get going, okay? More decisions. Although I was heard, and make no mistake about it, I was heard, I wasn't listened to.
Stephen's used to not being listened to. After all, he used to be a school teacher. Stephen Drucker from Richmond Hill, Ontario.
Jack of all trades, master of all. That's why they call me the Know-It-All.
Now that he's retired from teaching high school and university,
Welcome to Druckerville.
Stephen has loads of free time to bask in what he calls his vast knowledge and gets to do things his way.
I really have no problems whatsoever collaborating with other people. But having said that, I have to have confidence in them as much as I have confidence in myself.
For Stephen, It's starting to feel like the good old days in the classroom.
Guys.
No one's listening.
You start cutting like that.
Can we fill the tubes with gravel?
No.
We're doing an awful lot of talking.
Okay, you don't want to measure. That makes sense. It's just the hypotenuse. Okay. You've got a bunch of know-it-alls.
Our 10 know-it-alls have just 2 hours to construct a shelter out of little more than cardboard. Their goal? To protect their 2 pigs from the wind power of a tropical storm, courtesy of our 2 gigantic fans. On Team 1, consisting of Thomas, Jennifer, Stephen, Ted, and Dan,
What have we decided, Thomas? You're leading this.
Thomas has been appointed leader.
Well, let's get someone to do some math quick right now. We want 6x6 blocks, okay?
But Jennifer appears to be calling the shots.
You guys want to start with the walls and do tubes in the corner? Are you agreeing with this?
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
one last question.
This is 1.4. That's 3.
Jen is awesome.
That's what this
I
is.
just hope we get to work with each other a few times before it gets dirty.
Team leader's working on one team, we're working on another team, and the 2 separate little teams don't seem to be communicating.
Ted Coffey from Irikana, Alberta. He expects good teamwork as a boss on the oil rigs in northern Alberta. But when he's at home, he's master of his own universe. In his sanctuary, his garage.
I am trying to amass a complete collection of the elements. Check this out. Pure uranium-238. I've got 80 pounds of mercury. It's great to play with. And most important of all, single malt scotch by the gallon. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
Yes, Ted's used to being the leader in his own little world.
You start cutting like that, how are you going to hold them together?
Let's get somebody painting right now.
You want us to paint it right now? Why don't we build the roof and then paint it?
I just want to have any idle hands if we can help it.
But among this group of know-it-alls, he'll need to be extra clever and patient to get to the top.
Why don't you 3 do the walls, and why don't you and I do the roof?
Good for them and their roof. It's a nice roof. I'm not sure that time spent on a really great roof is time well spent.
Nick Nelson from Toronto, Ontario.
So I'm going to explain to you why I'm not perfect, why I'm better than perfect.
Yet another person who says he has many talents, and a mother who couldn't agree more.
From a young age, what did you think of my intellect?
Oh my God, you were brilliant.
I've been told I'd be a great litigator, due largely to my deduction, reasoning, and logic skills. Do you think I'm a know-it-all? Mate in 22.
Well, you do know lots of stuff. Sometimes your approach can come across as a know-it-all.
But Nick's mum is nowhere to be seen. He's on his own, out here competing against 9 other know-it-alls. Nick's team also has Kerry, Sabina, Dave, and Wayne Skuhela from Oliver, British Columbia.
Oh, hello. I'm Wayne Skuhela, and I'm a know-it-all. Built my own computers, CPU, graphics card. I could explain to you how the sun works.
Plus, Wayne is a professional carpenter, a seemingly natural leader for his team in this challenge, you'd think. But there's someone else who's already assumed his own discreet leadership of team number 2.
Well, here's what's happening. I'll tell you right now that I'm leading this team. But the best part about it is that my team is unaware that I'm leading. And that's a good leader.
Kerry is a yacker. He really puts himself out as I'm the leader and I know a lot of stuff. He's incredibly competitive, it sounds like from the cradle.
Okay, guys, I think what we need to do is strip the rope so it becomes 3 pieces of rope, right? Okay. Well, let's grab a piece and do this while we're talking.
Team number 2's plan? Build a base and supports, then wrap one continuous wall around them, tied together with their weaker, but now longer, strands of rope.
How you guys doing, boys?
While Thomas was the leader, Dan was really the clutch person that was making it happen.
Punchy Holy coming through.
He did become like a rocket at the end.
Dan DeCare, a young engineer from Ottawa, Ontario.
What has 2 thumbs and is going to win this competition? This guy.
Dan's only 26 and has the youthful confidence of someone who still thinks that anything is possible, especially with his brain on the job.
I get things done, and I love a challenge.
Will this know-it-all's enthusiasm push him straight to the top, or make him choke on our supersized challenges?
I eat challenges for breakfast, and this does not stop.
But one thing that has stopped is self-appointed leader of team number 2, Kerry.
Kerry. Another roof piece.
I'm cramping up. Oh, bad. Guys, I think I'm done. I'm cramping. My hands are just closing right up. I'm feeling weak through the chest. It's like I feel like I really have to work to get breaths in.
Kerry, if he is feeling that maybe he's taking a back seat to someone on the drama scale, needs to up the ante for himself and get back into the limelight.
I think you're fine. My hand just closed up. I can't even open the damn thing. If I close, it just closes on itself.
He said, my hand's cramping, and I said, then use your other hand.
Dave Spencer from Georgetown, Ontario, gets the obvious question for a know-it-all. What have you done?
Well, what haven't I done? I was in the Canadian Armed Forces. I was a backpack prototyper and designer. I was an arborist. I was a teacher. Currently, I'm a millwright, but recently I almost switched careers and I was thinking about becoming a cake designer.
And Dave has a rare condition amongst know-it-alls: humility.
I have no idea if I'm going to win or not, but I will give it 110% and I won't give up.
Just 15 minutes left in the build.
Set it down.
Let's hope they haven't forgotten one crucial thing that I told them.
Now listen, storms can be unpredictable, so plan well. In 15 minutes, your opponents are going to have the opportunity to spin your structures any way they want, so they are more vulnerable. Yes? Yes?
Yes!
Go.
That's a weak point. They're going to put their fan on it, okay? But if air gets in there, this place will explode.
Who's got a knife? Who's got a knife?
How can I get out? This is tied.
String.
I got some more right here.
Okay, let's get this door tied up. We can find some string, people.
I saw the two structures side by side. I certainly thought one looked more livable. One kind of looked like it had been through a hurricane already.
Okay, hold it there.
I thought they'd put together a very strong house, but I still thought that ours was going to give them a run for their money.
Okay, so...
Twine's coming in at you.
Okay.
I looked at ours and I thought, we built a tiki hut.
Our 10 know-it-alls
This is 1.4, that's 3.
have built structures out of only cardboard and string.
Down.
Okay, let's get this door tied up. We can find
And
some
to
string,
make it even tougher, I told them that after the build, they could rotate their opponent's house to any angle they think would make it most vulnerable to a huge windstorm.
All right, know-it-alls, come on in. Congratulations, sort of. Now, your opponents get the opportunity to twist your structures around.
I want the wind coming in their door at a 45-degree angle, and I want that roof to come loose.
Well, our building has some nice gable roof vents, so if it goes in through the door, hopefully the wind goes up and vents out.
Your team, who's going to be the spokesperson?
180 degrees.
180 degrees, that's it?
Square into the wind.
Okay.
Team number 1, with Thomas, Jennifer, Stephen, Ted, and Dan, get their house rotated 180 degrees. And team number 2, Kerry, Sabina, Nick, Dave, and Wayne, have their structure turned 45 degrees. Different strategies for different builds.
Your structures are built. Meet the big bad wolves. All right, know-it-alls. We got the big bad wolves. Turn up at the lowest amount. How confident are you now? Yeah! If your structures survive, we're gonna crank it up. All right? First piggy that goes flying off the cliff loses. You ready? Do it! And by the way, the lowest level is 60 kilometers an hour. All right.
Go team! I thought both of them were going to go just as soon as they turned the fans on.
We're taking bets on how many seconds it would withstand. The consensus was 3 seconds.
cardboard and a bit of rope. But both teams were wise enough to tie their structures down. So far, so good. But it's early.
You see my little piggies crying.
Both structures are hanging in there. Looking solid.
Got it! Got it!
When it actually stood up to the fan on the first blast, we were absolutely amazed. We're tickled pink, but we were amazed. Like, wow, it's still standing.
Woo! You're right, guys! Two!
Yeah! 100 kilometers per hour. And team number one's house is taking a beating. And the pig is down. But the ropes are holding. He's still protected, and he's hanging in there.
I'm glad the goal is to get the pig off of the cliff rather than could the pig survive.
Team number two's house continues to be solid. But the storm is getting worse.
150!
Come on! Team number two's house is finally starting to shake. It might go!
Fingers crossed! Legs crossed! Come on!
But now team number one structure is holding steady.
125!
Team two now hanging on for dear life. But both are hanging in there. Unbelievable!
Yeah! I'm actually impressed. They survived at 125 kilometers an hour. That's the top speed. So you think you know it all, eh? Here's what we're gonna do. We are now going to blow 2 fans on one of your structures at a time, and we're gonna time them.
Team one takes a near critical blow. But the ropes are holding, and their little pig is still on the cliff. It's incredible. Team two is now on the edge of collapse. Will the ropes hold? Oh, and the pig is down. I think it's caught in the rope. It is! The rope is keeping the pig alive. It's unbelievable. The storm has passed, and incredibly, both pigs stay on the cliff.
All right, know-it-alls. I declare it a tie.
There is drama and there is personality clashes. You know, there are some individuals that have more gamesmanship, I guess you could call it, than the rest of us.
I expected fully that I would be put into a room with a whole bunch of other assholes. They're very bright people.
I believe some of the youngsters can take a lesson from some of the old-timers who've been around for a few years.
I wasn't expecting anything like this at all. I was expecting a trivia contest.
Their houses may be in ruins, but by unraveling the rope and tying their structures down, these 10 know-it-alls found the only way to succeed.
Right on!
They've proven that they're worthy opponents of each other and this competition. But there are 23 more challenges to overcome before we can declare who is Canada's greatest know-it-all. In the first ever Know-It-All Team Challenge, our 10 competitors proved that they are not just blowhards.
I declare it a tie.
Team number 1, Thomas, Jennifer, Stephen, Ted, and Dan. Team number 2, Kerry, Sabina, Nick, Dave, and Wayne. Now have to get by our second challenge to continue on the long road to becoming Canada's greatest know-it-all.
Welcome back to the pit, know-it-alls. I guarantee you it's going to be a blast. Put in your earpieces and your protective eyewear. And I want you to look at that cliff face 300 yards behind me, okay? Yes. That was an explosive compound called hydramite, and it blew about 30,000 metric tons of rock down in less than 3 seconds. But don't worry, your next challenge is not picking up all that rock. Come with me. Okay, so see that 30-foot trailer? In 30 minutes, we are going to destroy it with the equivalent of 9 pounds of dynamite.
The second team challenge. Determine the shortest distance they think a human could survive this giant explosion. Each team places 10 wooden cutouts around the trailer. The closer they are, the more potential points. One cutout must be placed in each of the 5 zones closest to the trailer. The know-it-alls can strategically place the other 5 anywhere else they want. Then we blow this thing.
The team who has the most amount of wooden cutouts still standing after the blast that add up to the most amount of points wins the challenge. Go.
Let's do it.
Come on, let's go. You guys run, I'll walk.
Go, go, go.
We gotta know if it's shrapnel or pressure we're dealing with.
Of all of us, the one that's worked with explosives is Dave.
Well, I used to be in a mortar platoon. I've thrown grenades before, shot lots of large weapons.
Dave served in the army for over 8 years, which included a tour of duty in Bosnia.
We've never, obviously, ever blown up a Winnebago in the military, but I had a little bit of a feel for it.
Every one of us grabs a dummy, and we all have a spot.
But Dave's also getting the feel of one of his teammates, as Kerry once again attempts to assume command of the team.
This is what I feel we need to do, because again, we don't know which side will affect more than the other. So first line just inside.
Kerry just talks too much sometimes because he gets really excited.
There was a lot of copying yesterday, and I was pissed off about it because they didn't see the rope thing until really late.
Yeah. They
and then they were like,
ours.
oh, they're tearing the ropes. So let's not help them. Let's wait till the last minute. Am I leading to a degree? Yeah, things that I say the team goes with, for sure.
Are you leading this challenge?
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of
you're leading. Okay, so you're making the final call on this. Does that make sense?
I was designated team leader. I didn't ask for it. It's pushed upon me.
Unlike typical know-it-alls, Ted's never been one to demand the spotlight. But when he's asked something, he's happy to answer.
We can, stand yelling things like, oh, square root and cube this, and it's all meaningless. It's not going to come down to math. It's going to come down to observation. If you have a structure with a right-angle corner, the blast is going to be absolute minimal at the 45-degree angle out between the 2 square sides. I say we grab the northwest before they do. We figured out the wind direction, so me and Thomas just ran like hell so we could stake out the area that we wanted before the other team got it.
So they gotta be in here? Stagger them, guys.
We got those, let's go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We wanted to be to the north of the field because the wind was from the north, and this would minimize, airborne shrapnel.
Team 1 has staked out their territory and is planting their grey cutouts immediately. However, Team number 2's orange men stand waiting for a plan.
The entire team had agreed we will discuss, then go to the trailer and set up our cardboard cutouts.
So if you're on
The entire team, except for Kerry.
Sabina was like, no, we decided as a team that we are going to do this together, and I'm very upset that you're going to go the other way. And I was like, fine, I'll walk over there and waste some more time, and so be it.
But what is their plan exactly? It looks like they're using their keen powers of observation to mimic what Team 1 has done, then shuffle their cutouts closer, just enough to win.
We're going to back our team up to just inside them and hope that that's enough. Guys, come on closer, come closer, I don't want to yell. I think as far back as they are,
I think we put them in a similar area, and then we all step them up one row each. Yes. That's the way to go.
They've been watching us big time.
It's pretty much balanced, except for they got a little bit more closer.
They're gambling.
They're gambling.
With time winding down,
30 seconds!
even though Kerry has gotten his way, like any typical know-it-all, he always thinks he can do better.
Hold on, we gotta scare him and move him up. Let's scare him and move him up too, guys. Scare him and move him up too, come on.
Hey, Carrie!
We had a plan. Stick with the plan. And then even when they're like 5, 4, 3.
5, 4, 3.
Carrie, stop!
2, 1. Step out of the danger zone, please.
He's a interesting guy to try and control.
Here's how they played it. Both teams have followed Ted's lead and placed their mandatory close cutouts off the front corners of the trailer. Team 1 in grey have placed their others in spots that can earn them as much as 85 additional points. Team 2 in orange have shuffled theirs in just a little bit closer for a potential 130 points. A dangerous game, but if they survive, they win.
Ready? Yeah! I think this is gonna be loud.
Can't believe they're standing.
Our two teams of know-it-alls have been challenged to predict the area of mortal destruction around a massive explosion.
So they gotta be in here? We got those, let's go.
Stagger them, guys.
So they placed their wooden cutouts around the blast zone. Here's how it sits. Both teams have placed their mandatory close cutouts off each corner of the trailer at 45 degrees. Team 1 has played it conservatively with the other 5, with the potential for 85 more points. Team 2 has snuck their other 5 just a little bit closer. More dangerous, but more potential points, 130.
Ready? I think this is gonna be loud. All right, let's put our stuff in.
An incredible blast. And even more amazing is that 2 of Team Number 2's orange cutouts are actually still standing. And only one know-it-all predicted that.
Everyone said, oh, they're all gonna blow down. I said, I don't think so.
David called it exactly. He said the 1, 2, and 3 are gone. 4 and 5 are still gonna be standing. And it came out exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Wow, this is a mess.
We've just got shrapnel absolutely everywhere.
In less than a second, this 30-foot trailer was instantly transformed into thousands of pieces of deadly shrapnel. Some of the trailer, including the door, was blasted over 100 meters.
That door is over there. It's clearly, I'd say, about 50 feet outside of any of the zones where the people have been placed.
All of Team Number 1's mandatory grey cutouts were destroyed. A pair of Team Number 2's orange men do remain standing, but they're on fire, so they too are worth 0.
And the final tally was Team 2, 130 points, and Team 1, unfortunately, only 85. And that's because you guys placed your people in a more conservative area, further away from the blast, which means you're the losing team.
Yeah. As you saw, it became strategy, which won the day. It wasn't even really calculations at all.
So they won, great. We'll see what happens next.
Just know that losing that challenge will have a major impact on your team in the next challenge.
In this explosive challenge, all of both teams' outlying cutouts did survive, but one team played it riskier, just enough to take the win.
Welcome to the Know-It-All Hangar, the only room big enough we could find to house this larger-than-life competition. Today, one of the 10 of you is going to have to go home. Here's how we're gonna do it. Team 1, you are gonna select one person who's gonna go into what I call the know-it-all danger zone. And that person's gonna compete head-to-head with another competitor to see who actually stays in this competition. And you select that person like any good know-it-all would, by debate. Team 1, as a group, I want you to come up with a name. Your decision has to be by consensus. Every person has to agree on that person except for that person. If you cannot come up with a name, then all of you are at risk at landing in the danger zone. That is totally up to you, but you've got 5 minutes to decide. Team 2, you are safe for now. You can go relax. Team 1, you've got a job to do.
These are the decisions that are really hard. Like, I am gonna be really, really sad if any of us go home.
I'll volunteer.
You'll volunteer? Are you
Blast
leading
off
this
of that
challenge?
one.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot
you're
of
leading.
Only seemed right that the captain go down with the ship.
You're a big man, Ted. I appreciate that.
I've fallen on my sword before. My kids don't like me. My wife bugs me all the time. I thrive on adversity.
I felt there was no need for Ted to volunteer. Since you were admirable, I'm talking now, okay? You were admirable. I'd feel really badly if you volunteered and you got knocked out. Nobody wants to win more than I do. But there's a right way of winning.
Ted, if you didn't want to fall on your sword, you wouldn't have volunteered, so I've got to vote for you. I'm sorry.
Ted, if you feel like the volunteer, I have no problem with that.
I'm rooting for you.
Well, these 3 kids, they've got to learn. They do have to learn. I want to say one more thing before the decision is made. I'm really...
Stephen?
Yeah.
5 minutes is up.
Nobody came here to lose. I can't fault any of the 3 people who voted to go along with my volunteering.
Did you choose who's going into the danger zone?
Yeah, we did.
Who's it going to be?
It's going to be me. I volunteered.
Did you?
Yes.
Why?
I was team leader. We blew it.
So you're taking responsibility for losing that challenge?
Yeah.
I respect that. But I do have some good news for you. As the person who's going to go into the danger zone, you get to choose your opponent.
Sweet. That's nice.
Or not. Okay? As the first challenge was a tie, and you guys lost the second challenge, Ted, your opponent is going to come from your own team. Ted, as the person who's going to go into the danger zone, you get to choose your opponent.
Sweet.
Ted, your opponent is going to come from your own team. Who are you going to pick to go up against you in the danger zone for elimination?
Well, old-timer, you and me?
Sounds good to me.
I picked Stephen to go up against because I thought I could beat him.
As a lifelong educator, somebody who's been in the business for close to 40 years, I really consider myself a well-rounded individual in a vast amount of subjects.
Well, one of his mantras that I have to live with is, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong.
There's certainly a family motto, if you're not first, you're last. If you underestimate him, it'll come back to bite you.
You can sit in a classroom and you can get a diploma all you want, but that doesn't make it true or right. You might find out things you learned in university just ain't exactly so.
He can do everything. He can do anything, and it doesn't surprise me when he does the things he does because he knows everything.
Ted and Stephen will compete to stay in the competition. You have battled massive winds, enormous explosions, towering cliffs. You've tried to save your little piggy, but that is nothing compared to this. are Super Scouts. They are incredibly knowledgeable. Now, to be a scout, you have to earn merit badges, and to earn merit badges, you have to learn and perform tasks.
Here's the challenge. On each of the 2 sets of 5 tables are 5 authentic merit badge tasks: forestry, pioneering, orienteering, citizenship, and electricity. All 5 tasks completed the fastest or the most completed in 15 minutes wins and stays in the competition.
Our judges? The 2 Scoutmasters, and trust me, they know their stuff. All right, Ted, Stephen, let's get this rolling. Go. Correctly tie 3 knots and 1 hitch.
I tie knots all the time. I'm familiar with knots.
Challenge completed.
We have 1. We have a merit badge.
Ted 1, Stephen 0.
Another challenge was orienting the map. In my oil field work, I've surveyed for years. Are we calculating declination? Are we calculating declination?
Okay.
The North Geographic Pole and the North Magnetic Pole don't line up. If you're on the 100th meridian, they do line up. If you're east or west of that, you have to calculate declination because the compass isn't pointing to true north, it's pointing to magnetic north.
Okay, all right. What do you think?
Challenge completed.
Yes. Ted 2. Stephen not 2. Stephen, you're trying to orientate the map to the ground?
Yep.
How are we doing here? Doing okay?
Not
You're
too well.
gonna try another one? All right.
Ted must place the correct provincial flag on its matching province or territory. 13 in all, and he's doing it.
Challenge completed.
Ted's got 3, and Stephen's still yet to get 1. This could be a runaway if Stephen doesn't get it into gear.
Life sciences were my specialty.
Which ones do you know for certain that are correct?
I'm not sure about much of them. Many
Okay.
of them. This here, Maple, I'm thinking is right.
Ted, you're on to your 4th challenge, to construct a 3-way electrical circuit.
Electricity, one of your fortes?
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
Supposedly.
Not completed.
Stephen skipped over his first 3 tasks to take his shot at this 3-way circuit.
We're good? We're good. He's got a merit badge. Okay, Stephen's got 1. You can catch up.
Under 2 minutes left. Ted 3, Stephen 1. But it looks like Stephen may be completing the orienteering badge.
He's got it.
I think he's good.
And he's got it!
He has a merit badge. Well done. Stephen has 2. Ted has 3.
There's just over 2 minutes left.
Keep at it, Steve.
Is he getting close? This could be the last 2 minutes in this competition for you, if you don't tie it up.
And it looks like Ted may have solved his electrical problem.
Challenge complete.
Woo! Yeah, Ted! And he's got it. Ted 4, Stephen 2. This could be it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both of you stop.
Okay, so the challenge is complete, and we have a clear winner, which is Ted. He got 4 merit badges. Congratulations. Which, of course, means, Stephen, you'll be going home.
When a blue-collar worker eliminates a lifelong educator, it begs the question, just what does make a know-it-all truly great? Book smarts, strategic thinking, or life experience? In weeks to come, you'll be surprised to find out the answer. And guess what? So will they. They just don't know it yet. Next time on Canada's Greatest Know-It-All, the competitors are put into new teams and start to melt down.
Aren't you worried that I kicked the out of you?
Playing well with others and fierce competition proves to be a volatile mix.
Please take your hand off me.
And one know-it-all pays the price.